I'm here to share a few more stories from sketchbooks. This sketchbook is a much older sketchbook than the ones I've shared with you previously. This one starts back in January 1975 when I lived in a loft, top floor of a warehouse building in Boston. I didn't have any heat. I put in my plumbing, and it was a fabulous place. Just loved it. So you can see that even back then, this is garlic. You may not be able to tell. I didn't draw very well back then. But I always loved drawing herbs, plants, food. And again, rose water, cucumber water, just as now I do a lot of apothecary and make lotions and potions. I was totally doing that back then too. I used to go to Peabody Museum and study the animals, and I would draw. I really tried to learn what cross-hatching was about. To this day, I have not mastered cross-hatching. I like squiggle drawing much better. So here we have some drawing I really admire. And this looks familiar, doesn't it? Look, it shows up here. If you're familiar with my flexagons and my dalas and mandalas, you'll see that I was totally obsessed by creating them and coloring them in back then. And here's another great attempt at figuring out what halftones were about, what values were about. I didn't really see them very well. I was trying cross-hatching. And this is a good one to point out because I'm working now on a class for rendering. I've had students and friends ask me, please, will you do a concentrated online course on rendering? And so I am in the process of doing that. If you're interested, let me know, and I'll make sure to put you on the list to contact when it's complete. Here, this is very special. I was so happy to find this. This is a postcard that Adolf Konrad sent to me. It says, "Dear Chris, living on a houseboat close to Shangri-La. It's so beautiful that it's maddening. A feast for the eye and a balm for the soul. Went camping high into the Himalayas for 2 days, getting lots of drawing done. Love, Konrad." Now Konrad, I'll show you here. Here's Konrad, and it says, "Picture of artist being haunted by his favorite model." In the back is, he was just being nice. He called this person his favorite model. And this person is the same as this person on my wall, who's the same as this person, who's a lot older now. This was a charcoal portrait that he did of me when I was with a group traveling with him in Algonquin, Maine. And there was a huge hurricane. Oh, it was incredible. And during that time, he was doing portraits of people on big canvases like this. And he had started a series of charcoal portraits. So he did that of me. And then he sold it to someone on Wall Street who had it in his office for 20 years or so. And then a friend of his saw that it went up for auction, bought it back, gave it to him. And when I moved here, where I live now in Lebanon Township, I was only 10 miles or so away from Konrad again. So I'd lived all over the world since I had studied with him. But it was really nice to be so close to him and be able to learn from his sketchbooks and talk to him and pick his brain and be inspired by him again. So I met with him quite often up until the point that he passed away. Though I've never put a portrait of myself on my own wall, I have it there now, and this was before I found this sketchbook this morning, to remind me of my early aspirations as an artist. And I think that when I met Konrad, I was 19 years old, and I had big dreams and wanted to learn so much, and I still do, but I realize that though I've surpassed some of my expectations and my aspirations, there are some that I haven't even scratched the surface of. So that's why I have that up there, to look in my own eyes and to remember what my dreams were then. And now that I'm 67, I want to make the most of the years I have left and make as many of those dreams come true as possible. Now, one more thing I want to show you is this that I found in the sketchbook. I believe that this is the painting that connected me with Konrad back when I was 19. I didn't realize that I'd grown up looking at his work as a child. My best friend's parents had his work on their wall, and I now have the musicians that I grew up with. Her parents gave it to me. And this is the painting that was hanging above a friend's piano when I was, I think, I guess 19, when I met him. I was a camp counselor, and we had a big party afterwards for the campers. And I said, I have to meet that person and study with him, or her. I didn't know who it was. And this is the painting that connected me with Konrad. And I started studying with him a month later, 2 months later. So that's it for today. Very exciting for me to share with you some back history of Adolf Konrad and his mentorship and how he totally changed my life. It was because of Adolf Konrad and his influence and encouragement that I left the commercial arts school I was going to and moved up to Boston, taking my chances at being what we call the fine artist then rather than a commercial artist. And I've never regretted that. And I attribute that to the passion I saw in him for his work, and I felt it inside of me, and I felt that I was going the wrong direction. So thank you for watching, and until next time, this is Sketchbook.